Welcome to Elevate Your Ride, the podcast dedicated to elevating your performance in the saddle. I'm Ellie, your personal trainer.
And I'm Lauren, your mindset coach.
Today we're going to dive into how to mentally prepare for a ride. How can equestrians create a pre-ride routine that helps put them in the right mindset for their ride?
A great place to start is visualization. This can be done when you're in the car on the way to the barn. It can be done while you're tacking up. It's perfect because it allows you to set a goal and an intention for your ride and then go through it in your head as to how you're going to achieve that. So whether that's you're going to go do a lead change, you're going to pick up the correct diagonal, you're going to visualize yourself on top of your horse, seeing the things that you would normally see as if you were riding. You're going to feel the reins in your hands. You're going to feel the horse beneath you. Let's take the lead change as an example. You're going to feel the rhythm of the lope. You're going to feel what you need to be doing with your hands, the amount of pressure in your reins, the amount of pressure in your legs, which way you need to switch if you're going from left to right, the different places that you're going to look and feel, and how you will cue. Doing this over and over in your head correctly will help increase your mind body connection. It'll increase your reaction times and it'll help form that muscle memory. So when you're in that moment, your body already knows what to do. So once you visualize your ride, you can also practice with breathing techniques to calm you down because a horse will really be able to feel your energy and will want to try to match that. So you're going to want to come into the ride in a calm place and a quiet mindset. So we can do the box breathing like we had talked about, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. You can also do diaphragmatic breathing, which is where you breathe in deep. You'll push down kind of through your diaphragm rather than holding the breath high in your chest. And then you'll exhale slowly. And then you'll just do that. Breathe in deep, exhale slowly. And then that will help to bring calm and peace.
What's the thought behind breathing through the diaphragm versus the chest?
So, diaphragmatic breathing can have a calming effect on you. It'll help activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which can lead to you having a more relaxed response. It'll reduce the stress that you feel. It can potentially lower your heart rate and just create just an overall feeling of calmness. When you breathe up high in your chest, it helps trigger your body's fight or flight response, which is definitely the last thing we want when we're getting on the back of a prey animal. And if they feel that, then they're going to think, oh man, we got to get out of here. So definitely focus on the diaphragmatic breathing to keep both yourself and your horse calm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, even as I'm sitting here right now listening to you explain that, I'm practicing breathing in through my chest versus breathing in through my diaphragm. And I can feel that when I breathe in through my chest, I can feel like it's almost like this ball of energy, like right into my chest. And I feel more alert versus when I breathe through my diaphragm, it's almost like it centers me down into my seat.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how just breathing differently can trigger your whole body to feel differently?
Yeah, that's something that I need to work on when I go ride. I'm such a preacher of when you exercise, focus on your breathing. I am so terrible at it when I go to ride. I can do it when I exercise, but for some reason, I have a really hard time matching my breathing to my rhythm and to the rhythm of my horse. So, do you have any recommendations for what I can do for that, either in a pre ride routine or when I'm actually riding?
Yeah, definitely. And kind of like you said, where you are already practicing this when you work out, I would recommend practicing your breathing techniques in all areas of your life because the amount of time that you're going to be on the back of your horse is limited compared to the amount of time you're going to be doing the rest of your activities. So practice it when you're in the car, practice it when you're working out, practice it when you're getting ready to walk into a meeting or walk into class because you want this to become a muscle memory, just like you want changing leads or finding your spot to become second nature. You want this calm breathing to become second nature to you. So it's just like anything. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Are you looking for that extra competitive edge, struggling with show pin anxiety, or looking to set and achieve meaningful goals with your horse? Schedule a session with me, Lauren, your dedicated mindset coach. As an experienced competitor, I understand the mental demands required to excel at the highest level, and I'm here to support you in building a plan to help you stay accountable and reaching those goals. For more information, check out laurencervelli.com or click on the website link in our show notes. Let's work together to elevate your ride.
So, how does your mental energy impact the horse and their energy?
So, horses are known for being extremely sensitive to how humans are feeling and their body language. They can pick up on the slightest things that you do. It can be even as small as your heart rate or your breathing, which is why we talked about how important breathing is, because your horse is going to feel the difference. So, being able to control your own energy, your own breathing, your horse is going to appreciate that. I recommend trying meditation as well. So when people think of meditation, they often think, oh, I have to go in a dark room and sit by myself and be quiet, and I can only focus on nothing for 10 minutes. And if I don't focus on nothing, then I've failed the meditation. But that's not the point. So, yeah, sure, we want to be able to calm the mind. But one of the biggest things about meditation that adds value is when you do get distracted, being able to notice it and then reframe your mind. So, just because you got distracted does not mean you failed the meditation. It's a great opportunity to exercise the self control of bringing yourself back, which is great for when you get onto your horse and when you step into the show pen and you find yourself wandering. It's that ability to bring yourself back that's going to make you be successful.
Are there any apps out there that you're aware of that offer any sort of a mindset or a mindfulness service?
So there's a few free apps. There's one called Headspace, and it offers guided meditations. Um, I've heard really good things about that. I've never personally tried it. I've also heard of Calm. Again, I haven't tried that. The meditations that I have used have been through YouTube. So I just Google different meditation practices and then find one that I feel fits the mood and feel that I need for that day.
Funny enough, the only one that I've ever heard of is Headspace. So that's funny that that's the one that you brought up.
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
I haven't, like, downloaded the app or anything, but when I was in high school, I took a psychology class, and every class, we actually started off with an episode from Headspace. Back when we were doing it, I think it was just a YouTube channel. I think it's an actual app now, but I actually loved it. Every time when we got to class, we'd sit down, and he would start off with some sort of a mindfulness exercise, and it was a great way to kinda loosen everybody up from the stress of the day, let everything else melt away. I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'll have to try that.
Do you recommend listening to any music or podcast during your warm up, or should your sole focus be on you and your horse?
That's gonna totally be dependent on who you are and what you enjoy. Depending on what you wanna accomplish for the day, whether you're getting ready for competition or if you're just going out for a light hack, I would recommend different types of music. So if you're wanting to calm yourself, you're gonna wanna listen to, like, instrumentals, soft listening, things like that. So if I'm going into a really intense training session with my horse where I know I need to kind of focus on doing the same thing over and over and over, I love an instrumental. It allows me to be deep in thought and kind of just get into the rhythm with my horse. But if I'm getting ready for competition, you better believe it. I'm listening to pump up songs. They're going to be poppy, they're going to be rocky, and it's going to get me saying, yes, I am the champion, and you guys better watch out. So I think listening to music that's going to suit your goal for the ride is 100% helpful.
Just as a recommendation for our listeners, my favorite, like, either workout pump up music or ride pump up music is anything by Sam Tinez. He's the guy that records Legends Are Made, Born for This. He does a really good job of pumping you up without overstimulating, which I think can actually be kind of hard to find.
Absolutely, and it's funny that you mentioned those 2 songs because those are absolutely on my workout and pre-competition playlist. So, 10 out of 10 recommend those.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to Sam Tinez, I 10 out of 10 recommend. He puts out great stuff. If I was riding around in the show pen getting ready to go for like a world show type pattern, he is definitely who I would be listening to.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely, I agree.
Let's say that you're having a bad day. How do you leave that energy outside of the barn?
Yes, this is a great question because as we know, life happens. You might be coming to ride after work and you could have had a bad day. Maybe you got a flat tire on the way. Maybe you just hit one too many red lights and you're feeling frustrated. You don't
Oh,
want
that's so me. I get so mad when I hit all the red lights on the way to the barn.
right? You're like, "Come on, I just wanna get there."
Oh my god, I get so mad.
Yeah, and you don't wanna take that frustration and anxiety to the barn with you. So, great place to start is in the car, and let's work on those breathing techniques. Maybe hitting those red lights is a great opportunity for you to say, "Okay, I'm gonna calm down here. Rather than get frustrated, I'm going to pull my energy back to myself. I'm gonna reframe my thoughts. I'm gonna visualize my ride, and I'm gonna practice my breathing at every single red light." And once you get to the barn, if you're still feeling frustrated, I think a really great thing is just to have a present mind. Take a step back. This is going to sound so cheesy and corny, but look your horse in the eye, pet your horse, and actually feel that horse under you. Be so present in this moment that you can feel almost every single hair. Feel the muscle under your horse's neck. Think about the way that your horse smells. Think about the way that they are looking with their ears and reacting to different things. This will help to center you and bring you into the present moment and leave all of those bad things behind.
So you're saying that I have to look at my red lights as an opportunity to be a better human?
Yes, absolutely. Why not?
Uh, I'll work on that, but no promises.
Maybe it's a great time for your Headspace app to be playing.
Oh my gosh. Alright. Let's say that you show up to the barn with a clear goal in mind, but your horse has other ideas and you have to work on something else. How do you avoid beating yourself up for not sticking to your pre-ride plan?
So this is where going into your ride with a growth mindset is going to be really helpful. A horse is a living, breathing creature with a mind of their own, obviously. And while we are trying to get on the same page with them and have them accomplish all our hopes and dreams, there are going to be days where they have their own thoughts. So you need to be able to say, okay, they have their own thought today, but I'm going to go with it and get it 1% closer to being my thought. So take it as an opportunity to say, what is the horse telling me today that he's struggling with that I need to work towards to get him on my team? So if they're spooking at a barrel, maybe that's a great opportunity for you to practice some rollbacks towards the barrel, some trots and stops, different things that you can still be working on. Let's say you're going to work on spins that day. Maybe you don't get a full spin, but you can work on the rollbacks, getting those shoulders over, you being balanced and centered with your horse. Go with the horse and let them dictate the ride, but try to guide it with your own goals.
Hi, everyone. It's your personal trainer, Ellie. If you're looking to become a stronger, more balanced, and flexible rider, I'm here to help. I offer virtual personal training sessions and customized workout plans that you can complete on your own. As a fellow competitor, I understand the physical demands riding requires, and my goal is to help you perform your best for your horse, whether you're preparing for a show or just want to improve your everyday rides. Visit lopeanddowntherailfitness.com or click on my website tab in the notes of this podcast episode to learn more. Let's work together to elevate your ride. Do you recommend setting goals before a ride?
Yes, I do, but I think they should be very loose goals. So you don't want to get on and just meander around and look at the butterflies and wonder what you're going to accomplish for the day because your horse is going to get bored, you're going to get bored, and usually when things get bored, trouble is usually found. So have a goal and set an intention for your ride. I think that this goal should be adjustable, but I do think having a goal is one of the most important things you can do when stepping onto the back of your horse.
What role does gratitude play in a pre-ride routine?
Gratitude is huge. It's huge in all aspects of life. So, coming into something with a grateful heart and a grateful mind allows so much room for opportunities. It allows you to be open minded about where your ride is going to go and to appreciate the small victories. I listened to a quote recently where they said, all wins feel the same. Whether they're a small win or a big win, it all feels the same. So if you can come into your ride with a grateful heart and that perspective, a simple win where you set out to pick up the correct lead is going to feel just as good if that's where you're at that day as stepping into the pen and winning a world championship would. So remember that setting your goals, be grateful for them and the accomplishments towards them, no matter how big or small they are.
I can totally attest to that because I actually felt that earlier this week. So, like I've talked about before, I've got an injury on my lower back, and I thought that I had it in a pretty good place. I thought that I had been managing my pain pretty well, and I thought that I was getting pretty stable until I went and saw a physical therapist for equestrians. And she showed me that I am not as stable as I thought I was. And I am dealing with more pain that I am letting myself even realize. I'm compensating in a lot of different ways that I didn't even quite realize I was doing. There's a horse that I ride in the barn. Her name is Minnie. And she doesn't hide my compensations as well as some of the other horses in the barn do. So, because of how my back is, I like to push in with my right seat bone too much. So, even though I'm asking for the right lead correctly with the left side of my body, she picks up the wrong lead maybe 50% of the time. And it's been really frustrating because I know that I can do it, and I really have to focus on it. And when Michelle came out, she pointed out to me that I really needed to press my right leg down. And I was like, "Press my right leg? What do you mean, press my right leg down?" Apparently, I was hiking up my right leg and I was getting really short on the right side of my body. And that was part of the problem that I was having. And that was the missing piece that I needed.
Mhm.
And so once I started pushing my right heel down, I was able to get the right lead. And I was like, holy crap, like light bulb moment, right? And that was such a win for me because it's something that I've really been struggling with. It's been making me really frustrated. It's been making myself doubtful of my riding, and it's just been kind of a negative experience for me. And it's really been bothering me a lot lately. I'm like, "Man, like, why I've been riding for 10 years, and I can't
Yeah.
get the correct lead on this horse? What?" Like,
Yeah.
that's a really humbling, frustrating experience for me to go through, right? And the fact that just that one little tweak was able to make that big of a difference, it made me so happy, and I am so grateful that I was able to go through that experience, and I feel much more confident now than I was a couple weeks ago.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad that you were able to get a different perspective on that because just the slightest thing can make the biggest difference. And I'm also really proud of you for taking the time and acknowledging that win and saying, yeah, this was a big deal and I am overcoming it right now. So I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. So, in that scenario where before Michelle came out and I was really struggling getting the correct lead and just feeling unconfident in my riding abilities, what could I have done? Are there any mental exercises, any mindfulness practices? What would you recommend in that scenario?
So, this is again where we're going to lean on that growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So, a fixed mindset's going to say, I have this imbalance in my body. Therefore, I am permanently going to get the wrong lead forever and ever and ever. Nothing I do can change it. If you stay in that fixed mindset, you're bound to be miserable. You're bound to have anxiety over it. You're bound to not be successful. However, if you can adopt a growth mindset, which you have, and I'm very proud of you for seeking out help. You say, "Hey, I have this issue. I know this is an issue, but I know there is a way to overcome it." So, reaching out to find a professional or a friend who you can say, "Hey, I am struggling and I need help." Get that extra set of eyes on you, allow them to give you feedback, encourage the criticism, because criticism is what is going to lead you to find the right answer to be able to solve your problems. So I think exactly what you did of soliciting help from a professional is exactly what you need to do when you feel stuck and like you can't accomplish something.
What would you just say to somebody who feels like they're too prideful to ask for help in that scenario?
Ooh, man, horses are humbling. That's what I have to say. I think that if you're gonna ride a horse and if you wanna be competitive, you have to acknowledge that you will never know everything. As much as we would like to, and as many lessons as we take, we are never going to learn everything. There's always going to be a different way to do something. There's always going to be a different kind of horse that we ride, whether it's a physical thing that they do or a mental thing that they do. And that's part of the fun of it, right? Is that there always is going to be a challenge. So if you're too prideful to say, every horse is going to do it exactly how I want to do it, and my way is the only way, you're going to run into a lot of frustration and a lot of failures. Leave your pride at the door. When you walk into that barn, come into it with a humble heart, and you will find a lot more success that way. Hey, Elevate Your Ride fans. Are you loving our show and looking for a way to show your support? Check out our line of Elevate Your Ride merchandise. From stylish t shirts to cozy hoodies to journals and hats, we have everything you need to represent your favorite podcast. Ready to gear up? Click on the Buy Our Merchandise Here link in the podcast notes, or head on over to our website, elevateyourride.co, and click on the Store tab. Thank you for your support. Make sure to like, follow, and share our platform with your friends.
How can you avoid letting yourself fall into any negative energy that's at the barn?
So that part can be a little bit hard, right? It's tricky when there's barn dynamics and maybe things aren't going super great. It's really easy to be caught up in that and kind of be drugged down to whatever negative level others are at. However, that's where it's important for you to stay strong and you to appreciate your horse. Keep focused on those goals and just tell yourself, I am the positivity and I am the light that this barn needs. And just take the high road. Don't engage in negative behavior because it's only going to make your ride more miserable and your time with your horse no fun. So just even if you have to throw some headphones in and get in your own little world, you focus on the fact that you're enjoying your horse and enjoying the process, and you let all the rest fall away. Thank you for listening to Elevate Your Ride. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, all linked in the podcast notes. We'll see you next time. The information provided by Elevate Your Ride is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical or professional advice. While we discuss health and fitness topics related to equestrians, the content provided through this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. The views expressed by the host and guests on Elevate Your Ride are their own and should not be taken as professional guidance. We strive to provide accurate and up to date information, but we cannot guarantee that the information will be applicable to every individual listener or that it reflects the most current research or guidelines. Before making any changes to your health and fitness routine, we strongly recommend consulting with a qualified professional who can provide personalized advice based on your individual needs and circumstances. Elevate Your Ride and its creators will not be liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, special, exemplary, or other damages arising from the use of information on this podcast. Thank you for listening to Elevate Your Ride. We are committed to providing high quality content and appreciate your trust in us as a source of information for your health and fitness journey.